Good morning. We are day 11, coming to you live from Studio Route 6. We are in the headquarters. We are somewhere in Vermilion, Ohio, making our way towards Cleveland. It is great to be with you. We are, day 11, walking 312 miles from Gary, Indiana to Cleveland, Ohio, getting attention for Ascension. Yeah, I think that's the update for where we are. We are closing in on day 12. I was telling Terry earlier when I came over to the car so that we could stream, I don't think I feel like walking as fast today. I'm a little sad. It's almost over. It's just been a joy to be on this journey. But we are making our way, and we will be at St. Philip. Let me see. Got a question? What stretches do I do to warm up and cool down? For my feet, I usually point my toes towards my head to stretch, and then I do that 3 sets of those for 12 seconds, and then point them away from my body, 3 sets of 12 for 12 seconds. I lay on the floor completely flat and stretch out. I do that 3 times for about 20 seconds. And then I do a butterfly stretch. Laying down, I put my feet together, the soles of my feet together, and lay them out in a butterfly position as I lay down. Then I sit up in that position and stretch, and then I bend over my feet and knees and pull them close to my body in that position. All of that for 3 sets for 20 seconds. Then I cross my left leg over my right knee. My right knee is bent, and then I gently push on the outer part of my, what is this? Kneecap. Push that away from me. Do that with both legs for 20 seconds, 3 sets for 20 seconds. Then I lean over, I spread my legs in a triangle position. Then I lean to the left. I do that 3 sets for 20 seconds, lean to the right, 3 sets for 20 seconds, and then down the middle, 3 sets for 20 seconds. And then I stand up and I put my legs together, and then I fold my top half, my torso, over towards the floor, and I stretch out like that with my hands towards the ground for 3 sets of 20 seconds. And then I put my left hand over my head and lean towards the right, and put my right arm and towards the left, and stretch out the outer side of the left side of my body, 3 sets for 20 seconds, and then do that on the right. And that is usually about it. But I do that both morning and evening. Stretching is a very, very good part of the day. Let me see the next question. Yesterday, let me get back to you. Hopefully, yes. Yesterday and today was along the lake. I did get some video footage of that. This morning was just really awesome, because throughout the journey, just been hearing the trains, and to walk along the lake and to see the sun coming up and the train going was just an awesome time in the Lord. So yes, there has been some enjoyable time with Lake Erie. And I got to have a childhood memory of how I got to learn the Great Lakes homes here on Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. So I spent a lot of time yesterday and today saying that to myself, just cracking up that I did remember something from grade school. What will I miss about doing this every day? Actually doing it every day. It is rather refreshing to see how impactful walking is. I think it has become an underrated form of exercise. When we think of exercise, we think we have to be in the gym for a certain amount of time, run long distances for a certain amount of time, lift a certain amount of weights, or those kind of things. And just it has been very refreshing to see just how in the first 2 or 3 minutes of walking, how different the day already feels. And so just the meeting the people along the way and sharing about Ascension and getting that out there are the things that I will miss. And as I shared with you, just being with you all like this, we have created such an awesome community with Brian, Mike, and Terry, that community coming on with you all and building this community are things that I will definitely miss. So we'll have to figure out how to do this. Stay tuned. Plan B has been already mapped out, and I've had that in the mind. We'll make the announcement of what our next year's Attention for Ascension journey will be. Agree 100%. I don't know if everyone gets to see that or how that works. Brian, who walked with me, said that walking is a great form of meditation and reflection. So just to recap, we getting to Cleveland is going to be bittersweet. Yes, I am excited to get there because that means we have been faithful to this phase of the journey. And so we thank God for his provision, but that means this phase has come to a close. And it has been really, really exciting just to see God move in some very exciting ways. And so, yes, it's bittersweet to get to Cleveland. But the other exciting part to that becomes just as God showed up and showed out during the walk, he will show up and show out as we continue the journey to get Attention for Ascension and begin the work of raising $3,120 for the school. Terry, they want to know, did you restock on your protein bars?
No, not yet. I'm dying over here. I have to settle for cashews now.
They said it's rough out there.
It's right. Yes, sir.
It is day 11. We were about 45 miles out. So my wrestle for today is, do we stay at the 30 miles or do we split the day? We'll see. I think I'm going to split the day and save my body and do 20 something today and 20 something tomorrow. I think that's going to be the best bet. Instead of trying to do the 30 today and leave 15 for tomorrow, we'll leave some reserve in the tank. But we'll see. That might be subject to change. Just a second. Was there a day that I really needed to push through and hit a wall? I don't remember the day, but whatever day, it was raining. But that was probably the most refreshing, because you knew you were battling. It was more mental than it was physical. So that was the day I just was really questioning why. But for those of you who might know me a little more intimately than others, I do try to live by a motto. It doesn't matter the weather. It all depends on how you're dressed. And so there was definitely, I had my rain pants on, my raincoat on. I was either going to rely on the grace that God had given me in health and strength that day and do it, or not. And so by God's grace, kept pushing through. And so that was the day. And then after that, it really became a joy, because you knew you had made it through that day. There hasn't been any wildlife that have come across. Just tried to show you all, saw the cows, the sheep, the rams, the horses. But other than the two dogs, I think that was Monday. Uh, and you got to see the dog that came up while Brian was with me. There has not really been any wildlife. I mean, yeah, that's been kind of fascinating. The walking stick is holding up very well.
I thought you were going to use it this morning.
Oh, when yeah, but their owner was there. I didn't see that. Yes, I do switch sides with the walking stick, just to keep it even at times. Um, No real rhyme or reason as to when. It just happens. No lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. It really has been a refreshing time to really just get to meet people and share the story and walk and see God's grace with each and every step. And you just marvel at God's ability to give you provision to take that step. And so often we just don't take the step because we've convinced ourselves that we can't. And just when you get out of God's way and just rely on his ability to see you through, it becomes amazing what can happen. The barn situation has been very fascinating to me. Actually, what I have learned and noticed, and what Brian had pointed out to me, many farms don't tear down old barns. They leave them and wait for them to completely deteriorate, and so it's been very fascinating. There have been some lavish farmlands, and you can see the home tucked away off in the distance, but nothing really elaborate in terms of barns, and that's just been really fascinating to me. I think it was day 2 or day 3 I was sharing with Brian till very late in my life. I thought all farms were, because it was the only point of reference that I had, would look like Dallas, the Dallas show ranch. But that is not the case at all. Uh, I don't think we have any freeways today. We had a few bridges so far, very little shoulder, so a lot of grass walking today. There have been a couple of sidewalks, but no freeways at this point. Green Acres Barns. This morning, I think we said we're about 6 miles so far today. Yeah, about 6. So the goal today is 22. Did we figure out 20 something?
Well, yeah, we figured out about 20. You said you were gonna do 25 today and then finish off tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll do about 25 today and then finish off tomorrow, and we will be in Cleveland. So I don't know if you all have seen this, but there's an Amtrak commercial and there's a little boy playing. And then all of a sudden in the commercial, he shouts out, "But I got to get to Cleveland." And so that's what's been going through my mind the past 2 days. Uh, so that's where we are, because we got to get to Cleveland. And so that's where we'll be on day 12. But today is day 11. We are about 6 miles in. And today we'll do about 25 and save the rest for tomorrow. Make sure that we have refreshed ourselves and for the final stretch. I truly want to thank all of you for the love and support and all of the hard work that you have been doing, and consistent work and making sure that we are getting the word out there to get attention for Ascension and keeping those scholars and staff in prayer. It truly, truly means a lot. And I hope you got to see the joy on the kids' faces, yesterday, and hear their questions as well. Well, family, this is day 11. We are in Vermilion, Ohio, headed to Cleveland, walking 312 miles from Gary, Indiana. Just a minute. What I have noticed uh, about this beautiful creation is just God's order, and how all of creation plays a part into God's plan. And if we, as God's children, would take a moment to step back and allow God's order to continue, what a much more enjoyable time we would have in life. That the bird has a purpose, that the whatever wildlife we were expecting to see has a purpose. The horse has a purpose. The sheep have purpose. The geese have purpose. The deer have purpose. Bless you. Um, we all have purpose. And if we would take a moment to understand that just because something is different than us doesn't mean it's deficient, and we allow God to use it for the purpose in which He created it, how awesome life really is. Um, and that is what I have truly learned, and just been reminded that God has enough seed for all of us. There's enough seed to be sown, and God's seed is good and beneficial for all of us. Um, and He just keeps driving that home. No, have not seen any little one room churches. I have, however, by God's grace, because you all know the other backdrop to this walk to getting attention for Ascension is celebrating 15 years in ministry. Um, I have been able to take a picture of every church that I have served, along the name of every church that I have served along the way, with the exception of Celebration. But there was a Hope Lutheran Church. So maybe between now and when I arrive to Cleveland, we'll see Celebration. But with the exception of that, every other um, church that I have served, I have been able to take a picture. Thank you. God's blessings to you too. So just to recap, it is day 11. We will get about 25 miles in today and save the rest for tomorrow. It truly has... Just a second. Oh, it's not. Thank you. It truly has been a joy to have this time, and this is also one of the things that I am going to miss, just our opportunities to update the journey and give you live reporting from our studio here on Route 6 from our headquarters. But it is day 11, and we're making our way 312 miles from Gary, Indiana to Cleveland, Ohio. If there aren't any, oh, here we go. Okay, if there aren't any more questions, I will see you all later today. God's blessings.